She stormed across the lawn like she owned the earth itself, clipboard in hand and fury in her stride. Karen had been waiting for a moment like this, a moment to put someone in their place. But what she didn't realize as she shouted, "You don't belong here," was that the quiet old man in the garden knew this neighborhood long before she even moved in. It was a warm Thursday afternoon. Birds chirped, a breeze stirred the wind chimes, and the community felt at peace except for Karen. With her signature oversized sunglasses and HOA badge hanging like a sheriff's star, she patrolled the sidewalks like a self-appointed guardian of the gates. To her, rules were not guidelines, they were scripture. And today she had found what she thought was a violation: an elderly man trimming roses near the edge of Lot 17. Not his lot, she believed, not his right. Grandpa Joe, as the neighborhood kids called him, was a man of few words. Tall, lean, with eyes that had seen deserts and wars, he kept to himself since his wife passed away. He had moved in years before the HOA ever existed. Back then, this wasn't a community of iron fences and garden rules. It was open, quiet, peaceful, and the land, it had a different story altogether. As Karen marched over, waving her clipboard like a sword, she didn't hesitate. "Sir, you are not authorized to be on this property. You are trespassing," she snapped, raising her phone like she was dialing in the National Guard. Joe blinked slowly, unfazed. He wiped his hands on his jeans, looked at the hedge, then at her. "I planted this hedge 25 years ago," he said. Karen scoffed. "That's impossible. The HOA documents are very clear. This land belongs to the association now. You need permission to touch anything on this side." Joe said nothing more. He reached into the inside pocket of his denim jacket and pulled out a worn, faded ID. He held it out calmly. Karen snatched it with a scoff until her eyes landed on the words, "Retired U.S. Army Distinguished Service Cross." Her breath caught. There was his name, Joseph M. Carter, the same name etched in bronze on the plaque at the park entrance she passed every single day. The same name listed as the veteran who had donated this very strip of land to expand the walking trail. But Karen's pride didn't retreat so easily. "This still doesn't give you the right," she tried again, her voice shaking just a little, but Joe's next words cut her off. "I gave this land to this community. You ever walk your dog past that trail near the pond? My team cleared it. I laid those bricks. My wife and I, we hosted the first 4th of July picnic right here before your HOA existed. Don't talk to me about rules, young lady. I made the ground rules before this pavement even cooled." Karen fell silent, not because she suddenly respected him, but because she didn't know what to say. And Joe, respectful as ever, just took his ID back and walked away, his dignity intact, the roses left half-trimmed. But the story didn't end there, because Karen wasn't the kind of person to admit defeat even in the face of honor. What she did next would take everything one step further. Everyone thought that would be the end of it, a neighborhood embarrassment for Karen, a win for Grandpa Joe. But they didn't know Karen. She wasn't just persistent. She was obsessed with order, especially her own version of it. And after being humiliated in broad daylight, she made a decision that would not only target Joe, but shake the entire community. It started with a letter, hand-delivered to Joe's mailbox. "Formal notice of violation," it read, typed in all caps and stamped with the HOA logo. According to Karen, Joe had broken multiple bylaws: unauthorized pruning of HOA property, failure to request landscaping clearance, and obstructing common access with personal items. But that wasn't all. She attached a $200 fine. No warning, no hearing, just a demand. Joe read it with a quiet frown, then placed it on the kitchen counter beside a photo of his wife. He didn't get angry, he didn't yell, but the gears in his mind began to turn. Later that week, Karen hosted the monthly HOA meeting in the community center. She was proud of the attendance, mostly because she assumed it meant people were finally respecting her leadership. What she didn't expect was Grandpa Joe walking through the door, wearing the same denim jacket with a leather folder under his arm. The room went silent as he stepped up to the front. "I'd like to speak," he said calmly. Karen tried to wave him off. "This is an HOA meeting, not an open mic." But the murmurs in the room disagreed. So did the veterans sitting in the back row. Joe opened his folder. "I'm not here to argue about hedges, I'm here to correct history." And then he laid it all out, documents showing the deed transfer for the land, news clippings of his donation ceremony, photos of him with the mayor during the trail dedication, a thank you letter from the county, and finally, a community survey showing that nearly 75% of the residents didn't want strict HOA landscaping rules in the first place.